Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's Living Environment class. I am very excited that you're here. If you're interested in watching and still being a part of this class, then awesome. I have a bunch of information for you guys, so check this out. So the first thing that we're going to do is go over some of the information from the survey. You guys were super honest with us, and we really, really appreciate it, and we want you to know that we've really thought it through. So we'll share that survey data with you. I'm going to tell you how you can reassess things. And then for those of you who want to finish the project, just like the next steps in finishing your project. And then last, we're going to look at the data about coronavirus in our communities. So I'm going to keep the skipping open on this video. So if you need to hop ahead to something or whatever, just go ahead. But I encourage everybody to stick through the part about the survey. So this was super important. The first question was, what are you feeling right now? Sort of what emotions, ¿qué sientes ahora? And it was the most obvious that most people are feeling absolutely exhausted. After that, a lot of people said they're just kind of feeling sort of neutral. And maybe you felt neutral and other things too. And then after that, overwhelmed and frustrated were really the biggest things. And then it also seemed like people were feeling kind of confused. And so based on these sort of feelings, this feeling of being really tired, being kind of overwhelmed, feeling frustrated and wanting some more information, we kind of decided what was going to happen next. So let's check out the next question. What kind of information do you want? ¿Qué tipo de informaciones quieres de tus maestros? What do you want us to tell you in the next little while? So it seems like most people do want some information about protests and racial injustice in our country. So that is totally available to you, and I'm going to tell you how to get that in just a moment. Next up was, I think this was information about coronavirus and staying healthy. After that, people said kind of honestly, I just need a little bit of space right now. That's fine. We're definitely going to give you some ways to get information about protests as well as information about the coronavirus, because it's important to remember that's still going on, right? Okay. So last question here was, what path was best for you? Sort of, what do you want to do with these last 2 weeks? So the majority, they said that they were totally overwhelmed, and then they really just need to take a break, and that's okay. A lot of people, so 26%, said that they're worried about their grade and really need to reassess. So the next set of information is for you if you're in that boat. And then almost 20 people want to keep working on the project. So I have stuff for that. And then people said, honestly, I just want to talk to you guys. So if you just want to come see us in office hours, we're holding all different kinds of conversations today. Okay? So take a second to pick a live lesson if you want to come. My optional live lesson will be about racism and healthcare. So why are so many Black and Latino communities sick with coronavirus? Mr. Turvin's going to do one on protesting 101. So just what's the deal? Why are people protesting? Do protests work? All different things about that. So you can come with questions or your opinions too. And Miss Tara's just going to check in. So if you just want to say hi to your classmates and hang out for a little bit, you can check in with Miss Tara at 1:20. At 2 o'clock, I'm going to give help on projects. So if you need to do that with me, then hit me up then. Hope to see you guys soon. All right. If you are in the reassessment boat, I want to show you sort of where you can look for information about reassessment. So first of all you people emailing me about what is my grade, hello, you have jump rope. Please do not with that. Don't be sending me an email that's like, Miss Daly, what's my grade? Guess what? It's all on jump rope. No different than any other day, in all of learning. So go to your jump rope and see what you got. We have 4 learning goals all about coronavirus. And then we had our learning goal that had to do with diffusion, where we did our project in the very beginning of remote learning. So for your information, if you have a grade for 9.1 that you don't like, too bad. We're not going to go back and reassess that learning goal. We can reassess 8.1, 8.2, and 8.4. So obviously, if you open up your jump rope, up here is going to tell you your grade. You have a C plus. This random person has a C plus. And maybe they're good with that, but probably they're like, you know what, if I improve one of these learning goals, then maybe I end up with a B or even like an A minus. So please, I highly encourage you to go and reassess. So looking at this, 8.3, 8.4, 9.1, all good. So just right now, I would want to reassess 8.1 and 8.2. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And here it is. So there is a new topic in our Google Classroom. It's called Reassessment Trimester 3. And you can see right here, there are 3 optional reassessments. So again, if I go back, here on my gradebook, it says I should reassess 8.1 and 8.2. So when I come here, 8.4, am I going to do it? No, I'm good on 8.4. I'm going to go reassess 8.1 and 8.2. And right now on this screen, they're gray because they just haven't popped up yet, but they'll be green. You can click them and go in and turn in that reassessment. Okay? So if you're interested in completing the project, I'm going to explain what we need to do today. So let's look at the example of a finished flyer and just see sort of where we are so far and where we're going. So if you remember in your criteria for success, we needed a catchy slogan or a title about our topic. So you chose your topic. In this example, mine is vaccines. So you chose your topic on Tuesday, and maybe you've already thought about like what your sort of catchy slogan or big idea is, but we're going to sort of say this section is done. So we do have a couple sections to finish today, and that's going to be a short explanation about how our topic works. And when I say short, I mean really short. Literally, my explanation says, teach your immune system to fight COVID-19. It's basically just saying that a vaccine is a way to teach your immune system how to fight a disease. So really short when you think about what's my explanation going to be. And then today's really sort of the more important thing or the tougher thing is going to be choosing which graph you use to illustrate your data or illustrate your main point. So most of today is going to be about sort of which graphs can we look at, what sort of information can we get when we start looking at data. We miss this day of like explaining your topic. So you can just fill in on day 2 in your project guide. Like, what do you think was most important about your topic? What do you want to explain about how it works? And then today, this is Tuesday, June 9th, we're going to pick graphs. So let me show you or like sort of talk a little bit about what is data, why does it help us in public health? Looking at the data, so similar to local public health officials or people who control for health within your community, the CDC uses data to monitor trends, right? A trend is like a pattern, to develop and implement and maintain programs. So they use the data to decide like, where am I going to use my resources, allocate resources, and assess the effectiveness of a prevention or control effort. So the CDC is the organization that is from our entire national government that understands like diseases within our community. So I'm going to take you right now to the CDC's data page, and I'll put a link right here in the video so you can join me. So this is my main COVID data tracker page for the CDC, and I'm just going to show you sort of rather than telling you what the data means, I'm just going to show you different ways to look at the information here. So you will see the totals are over here on the left side of your page. And then you have some options for what you want to see. So this section up top will tell me if I'm looking at cases, amount of testing. Do I want to look into the future or look at forecasts? Do I want to look at patterns? Do I want to look at who is visiting emergency rooms? Do I want to look at case by county, so like smaller geographical areas? And then these ones towards the end, I just suggest you don't check them out. They're very confusing. So you can click through these, see what you find interesting. Maybe you want to show people that it's really important to get tested, maybe using this page. Maybe if you want to talk about information about reopening our communities, you might want to look at the forecasts, right? That's telling us what might happen in the future. So go through these things, check this stuff out. Anytime you see a drop-down menu, I really encourage you to scroll through and see what you can pick. So here I can pick a state. I might check out what's up with New York. Ooh, just some information. So let me go back to the main page. I can look at the total number of cases, and then up here I can see all the different options. So if I want to look at cases in the last 7 days, or rates as in how fast are people growing or how many people per capita. I might want to look at the total number of deaths, how many people have passed away, or I can look at deaths by age group, and also by gender. So again, I can look at those in the form of maps, and then I can also change over here to look instead at a table. So if you prefer to look at things in the form of graphs, that's also available. So there's that information for you. You can click on these things. Sometimes they'll give you updated information. You might want to look at the information here. Check out the CDC website. So you might be deciding sort of which do I want to use? Do I want to use a table or do I want to use a graph? Just want to show you why I chose a graph in this one. This time I was looking at things that were happening over time, right? So at some point in this year, a vaccine was invented for chickenpox. And after that, the amount of cases decreased really quickly. So I thought a graph was a good way to show that. If you want to show information, this is another example of a flyer. If you want to show information about places, then a map might be really helpful. So think about, what do you want to show? Do you want to show how things have changed over time? A graph is a good idea. Do you want to show a specific group of people that might be particularly vulnerable? Then again, maybe a graph works. But if you are trying to talk about a specific location, then a map might be more interesting. So we can also look at a couple different places where where you can find really great maps. Okay, so you have, maybe you've finished day 2, which I know we missed before, but you might want to just write in here some ideas about what you want your reader to understand about your topic, just to be organized so that on Friday when you put your flyer together, you already have this planned out. But here's really what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about data and looking at these different graphs. So the first place I want to send you is these various sort of New York specific data. So you can check out the coronavirus in the US, latest maps and case count by the New York Times. You can absolutely click through these, but scrolling down will give you just as much information. So you can zoom in and out here on the map. You can actually zoom in on specific places. You should always be looking for your key. So there's some information here about where case numbers are falling, where they're the same, and where they're rising. So look at us here in New York, looking good. Good job. So this might be interesting information for you. You might be thinking about what you want to show about different places in the United States. Here are some graphs of like places that cases are increasing. Here are more graphs that you can use. Maybe you want to share some of the positive news that's going on in New York. Again, this is the sort of total number of reported cases. So maybe your flyer is showing that actually it's still a crisis in New York, and so this map might show better that image. Here is showing like over time between March 1st and June 7th. So you can look at these, like which states have made improvements, which states are getting worse. So scroll through this stuff and check these things out. So that was this one, the New York Times. Now, if you want to sort of zoom in on just New York State, then clicking the New York State Health Department information is going to bring you right here. So this is the New York State Department of Health, DOH. And same information, you can click on like each county. So this is Suffolk County and Long Island, or I'm sorry, Nassau County and Long Island. It's going to give you some information about what's the positive test rate. So reading the titles of everything that you're getting, and then making sure that when you go and like grab a map or take information from your for your flyer, that you're being really purposeful about what you take. So even if you just want to see like the statewide data, oh, hang on, let's see. I think I just clicked this again. Okay, so if I just want to see the statewide data, take this picture and then tell people like 2.5 million people have been tested, like go get your test. You can absolutely do that. So choose the image that's going to work for you. So these are tests. You can look at date, you can change it to a table, you can use the daily trends, all sorts of good information there. And then finally, you can look at information on the New York City website. So this is going to be really specific just about New York City. So here you can look at information by the borough based on which borough you live in. You can look at summary data. You can look at, so again, here's summary data about cases, about hospitalizations, about people who have passed away, and then other information. So again, we have data, cases, hospitalizations, deaths, all kinds of information here. Here we go. This is a great map about where are the hot spots within our own community. All right, y'all. So you can go through this information. You can sort of check out the different things. What I would do when you go to put your image in, you can either do a screenshot. That can be really helpful, or you can try to like save the image and then just copy paste, or just do the like insert image right into this box to share that graph with me. Then your two questions here are just why did you choose that graph, and sort of like what's the main point. These questions are a little redundant, so think through sort of what do you want people to take away, okay? So again, if you need help with this or you want to like work together in finding the right graph, just come meet me at office hours at 2:00, okay? Good luck with the rest of your project.